You know, there's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father.
Man, this stuff rocks.
Hey, it's Nick from Ascendia, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Hour, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I am your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I bring you guys and gals awesome interviews. But before I bring on my guest, I would like you guys and gals to do me a favor. Please go out and subscribe to BODS Mayhem Hour on YouTube. Click that notification bell and subscribe to it so that way you'll get anything and everything that I do, whether it's, you know, horror related interviews, music interviews, things like that. Please subscribe because you don't want to miss out on all this stuff. I want to bring on my guest. He's the vocalist and now bassist, which we're going to talk about there.
Sure.
Of Ascendia, and Ascendia has released their new single entitled Parasite off their sophomore album entitled Parasite, and their previous single also you want to check out entitled This War. So we're going to be talking to Nick about all this good stuff. So how you doing, man?
Fantastic, buddy. How about yourself?
I'm hanging in there. You know, it's October, it's Halloween, it's my month, but for us Halloween folks, it's every day. It's not just one.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's not just one.
Yeah, fall's rolling in, buddy. The fall's rolling in.
I don't like the winter. How excited are you guys to have this new album, Parasite, out right now, man? This is the second album. How excited are you guys to have it?
Oh, man, it's been a long time coming, I will tell you. We had the record finished, mixed, mastered. It was literally the week before the pandemic hit. It was March, and it blew up in our faces. So we had been sitting on this for like 2 years, man. So that doesn't necessarily mean we were stagnant and we weren't working. We had plenty to do, music videos and such. But finally, we're getting music released, getting the ball rolling. We're pumped, man. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready to roll.
But after you see that second album now under your guys' belt and battling through the pandemic, I mean, that must make you guys feel extra special about this, because trust me, that's very frustrating to go that long and have to sit on this album and can't put it out there.
Yeah, I mean, look, everyone can tell you in the music industry that things have changed. They're not what they used to be. We're all learning. It's been a learning process since the day we released the first single. A lot of mixed emotions. You know, the difference is when you put out your first record, we had no idea what the hell we were doing. We just put it out there and hoped for the best. Yeah. And I'm a little bit envious of it because you have zero expectations, but there's a little bit of this pressure on you now. And it's a good pressure to make sure it performs and does well. So yeah, it's a lot of mixed emotions, but we're pumped up, we're jacked up, we're just ready. We're done waiting.
All right, Nick, I got to ask this for sure. This is the $1 million question. You started to learn bass. Now, how difficult was that, man? And do you eventually want to add a bass player, or did you say, no, let's just keep it a 3-piece and I'll just do it?
So we've always been considered a 3-piece, but we weren't considered a true 3-piece only because when we needed bass, you know, for example, on the record, John played the bass. But when we had shows and tours, we had some hired guns. And the truth is, I don't know why we didn't think about it earlier, but I took on the challenge, man. And we said, why the hell not? For some odd reason, we can't find them. It's quite difficult to find bassists. And we said, why the hell not, man? You know, on tour, it's a lot easier. You got 3 members. And just, yeah, it's been a challenge. I used to play a lot of guitar. A lot of mechanics are the same. The biggest challenge for me is a lot of the syncopation and singing at the same time. You know, 8 notes are fine, but when that syncopation hits in and there's no rhythm like a guitar, that can be challenging. But it's a work in progress. It's been 2 weeks, and I haven't quit yet. So it's all good, dude.
A whole 2 weeks?
Only been about 2 weeks, man. Yeah.
Oh, John's he's burning up right now. Nick's burning it up.
Well, man, it's funny because you do something for so long, and I've been singing since, let's say, 2009, 2010, and there's always something new to learn. You can never limit yourself that way. But it kind of lit a fire under my ass. It gave me some new purpose. So I actually get jacked up when I get home and I want to pick it up and jam, right?
Yeah.
So it's been great. Me and John, the guitarist, meet, twice a week. We jam out for a little bit. It's just change of pace a little bit. It's great.
It's like I told you before we went on this interview, man. I was like, you're now the foundation, so you're staying.
Yeah, they can't get that now. They really can't get rid of me.
It's like, I'm here now, people. I ain't going nowhere.
That's right. Good luck now.
Like I said, I know this is your second album, but and I don't mean this in a bad way, but would you say this is the band's best album to date? And like I said, I know it's the second one, but is the band hitting its maturity as far as like creating music now, possibly, or is it just scratching that surface?
Yeah. So I mean, if it's no mystery, if you've listened to our first record to now, it's sonically different. Everything's different about it, and that wasn't on purpose. It just at that time in 2016, 2017, that was the music we were listening to. We were into the power metal. We had a lot of inspiration from bands in that genre. But as we progressed as individuals, as music listeners, as people, we switched it up, man. And it was a natural progression. It wasn't intentional. We were all riding on different waves, trying to figure out, okay, what are we doing next year? Because by the time we gained traction after 2016, we finally hit some tours. We were kind of ready to write some new things. So, yeah, man, it is different, 100% different. And again, it wasn't intentional, but here we are. And like I said, and it's no mystery. If you listen to it, the first record to this record, there is an obvious change. But I feel personally, this is the music we've always wanted to write, and we finally are. Right, we've hit our stride. We're all happy, excited about it, and we had the pleasure of working with a huge Canadian producer named Gavin Brown, who's worked with 3 Days Grace, Metric, huge Canadian acts, and that was a blessing, and that really pushed it forward for us.
So working with him, man, did he get something out of you guys that maybe somebody else might not have gotten, possibly?
Yeah, so Gavin has an amazing ability to write stories. We were always chasing hooks, melodies, but you tend to forget about what we're actually doing and what's the message you're conveying. Like what we always describe it as painting a picture. You have to know when to put the paintbrush off the canvas, put it on the canvas, and he had the ability. He didn't really change much of what we had. We had been sitting on demos for a real long time, and we like to call it the demoitis. Like we were cherry picking everything. So when he stepped in, he restructured a few things, but the biggest thing is storytelling. And that's what he got out of us, was just changed our writing style.
What led the track This War to be the first song released off this album? What was it about that song that said that's got to be the first one to go?
Well, man, that's always the hard question. Like it could have been Parasite. It could have been like the other 9. We just felt that it was a strong song to come out with, man. We came out swinging with it, and I think people were pretty receptive, and I think the message was really strong that people could relate to, and that ultimately was the reason why we decided to pick This War.
Are these all brand new songs, or are these songs that didn't make like a previous album that you guys just maybe fixed up or left in the vault maybe?
No, they were all brand new songs, but like a lot of them were demos. So imagine from 2016, 2017 to 2018, when we started writing these songs, they were all demos, and we had so many of them. And that's how they transformed. So we did have them, but they were pretty raw. Yeah, they were pretty raw.
Nick, was there a track that you were working on that totally ended up sounding different than what it was intended to? Was there one that kept changing possibly, or no?
Well, it's funny. Like I mentioned, we were so fixated on all the demos we had that it was completely abstract to us to not hear it that way. So I can't pick one because almost every song transformed. And it's funny, you don't even notice it happening because it's a beautiful thing. When you're sitting in a studio, it passes you by, but it's incredible when you have that many creative minds sitting in there. It happens. And you don't even realize it until you get out and you're like, holy shit, that just happened. So sonically, a lot of the songs, they just completely changed to us. It was so abstract because from demo to mixed and mastered song it was crazy different.
I know these are your babies. I know this is your guys' baby. But are there any tracks standing out more to you than any right now on this album, possibly?
Yeah, man. Actually, it's funny you bring that up. Right now with Parasite, it's probably the single that it hits home for me the most, and it's my favorite single, Parasite, for sure.
Where did that come from this band, man? That's a powerful song, but where did it come from, possibly? Yeah,
I'm glad you asked. Well, for most of my life, and still to this day, I struggle with mental illness. When I was at my worst, and I took a look at myself in the mirror, and I almost didn't recognize myself. So it's in the lyrics. I hated myself. I hated how I looked, and I almost felt like I wanted help. I needed to ask someone for help, but I was scared. You feel like you're a burden, and that's where Parasite comes from. And I think what I hope to accomplish with this song and the message we as a band bring out is you just need to talk. Pick up the phone. Just call your friend to say you're having a shitty day or you're not feeling good. And if that's what we can achieve as a band, or if I can achieve as an individual and just make that individual pick up the phone and call someone, that's just the start. So that's where it stems from. That was it was really deep because from the first record to this record, I was not able to put pen to paper. I had a terrible time at it. I wasn't good at putting my words onto paper. And I'm an individual that's emotionally invested in everything I do. So with Gavin coming in, he made me write down everything. All the dirt. We were referring to them as pain sheets. It was like therapy. We would sit around and we would read off these sheets, like dark, terrible things, how we were feeling. And at times I broke down. It was literally like therapy for me. And we cherry picked these letters and these pain sheets to ultimately write songs like This War and Parasite. So it's as real as it gets for us. There's so much personal investment in this, and we're so emotionally invested in this that I hope that it conveys over to the listener.
So has this allowed you to grow, to escape from that box? And I've always said this, man, and music allows people to feel like they are accepted. Music allows people to feel like they belong. Has this in Twine helped you as well?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's an everyday thing, and I always say you got to keep your head on the swivel. Like it takes a lot of work, self-work, and we tend to forget. We get caught up with life. Look, I had troubles waking up this morning, man. I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to, it's a daily occurrence. So in a way, yes, it has, but I have a lot of work to do. Things don't disappear. And that's another thing I can't stress enough is I'm not a professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a practitioner. But all I can say is that it's work, right? You need to be able to put your best foot forward to try to improve yourself. And I'm guilty of it, man. I probably am not doing enough myself, right? But this is why we're here. And this is why we're having these discussions. And I think this is important. And that's what I can hope this song achieves and get that message across to people. Like, just shoot the shit with somebody. Tell them how you're feeling, right? That's the start. Look, we're men. There's a stigma behind. We're tough. We can't. We have to hold down the fort. That needs to end. That needs to go away, right? So yeah, and in a sense, it helped me go. It's helping me grow, but I still got a lot of work to do.
We all do, my friend. We all do. And I tell my friends all the time, I love them. I don't care. I may never see them again. You just don't know what the next day holds for you.
You got that right, buddy. You got that right.
So I want to ask this though: did the pandemic allow you guys to be more creative on this album? Did you guys get more, influences from it?
No, not necessarily. I don't think in a creative sense, but we had to be strategic, if that makes sense, on how we're going to release songs and how we're going to go about, bringing this to the people. So from a creative standpoint, it didn't make us more creative, but it kept us busy. Like Billy's been working so hard on his TikTok and building his brand. Johnny has been busting his chops on a lot of the media and marketing stuff behind the band. So we're all we're all putting our best foot forward. And I'm a people's person. I'm the people's person. This is where I come alive, man. I love talking to people. I love hearing stories. And so in that sense, it's allowed us to grow in that sense. Yeah.
What's the growth musically that you've seen from this band from the previous album to this one? What's the growth that sticks out the most that you've seen personally?
I can definitely say as individuals, for sure. We, like, as much as we call them our babies, each song, we will always, always, always do what's best for the band and for the song. We've matured in that way. We're not afraid to step on toes. Being that I've known John and Billy forever, we have that ability to say, listen, man, we've matured that way. And I think that definitely has something to do with the music that we've released, for sure.
So, Nick, who did the artwork for this amazing album, man?
Well, we did. We did. A lot of the image that you see for Parasite was actually a still from a music video. And This War was actually something that we put together. Well, we were trying to convey a human element, and you'll see that moving forward with a common theme, just to show people in distress, or if they conveyed some emotion through an image of usually a face or a body movement. That's kind of the vibe that we were going for.
What do you hope everyone takes away while listening to this new album, or just Ascendia's music in general? What do you hope they get from it, man?
I want them to have fun. And then I always say, if it conveys some sort of sensory impulse or an emotion in some way, we've done our job, right? That I can't speak for people. As an artist, you hope that people can relate, but I want people to take from it what they want. I don't want to tell anybody what to think or what to feel. That's not what music is, right? It's universal. So I just hope that it can either make you feel better, it can make you think a little more, right? And honestly, just rock out, because we've written some badass riffs in this record that you cannot help yourself but to bang your head a little.
I always love albums that take you on a trip. I don't like the 1,000 miles an hour stuff. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong, but I want to hear different stuff. I want to hear like a roller coaster of stuff on it, man.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, with the way records are put together now, it's a lot of listeners are not listening to an album cohesively. It's typically one song and after the next. So, but I think there's enough on this record. I believe there's enough on this record to please everybody, for sure.
Was there anything left off this album we're going to see coming up, possibly another album or an EP from you guys, maybe, or just a one-off?
We've got things in the works. No decisions have been made, but we're just going to constantly content tracks, man. We've got to, we have so much to write about, so much on our minds, and we've already got a good chunk of tracks ready to roll. So we're hoping to get in the studio again soon, and you'll just be hearing more Ascendia, man.
I know you've had a lot of music while you were a kid and into adulthood and everything, but do you still have a go-to album or maybe a song that you find yourself gravitating back to, Nick, that you have to listen to it? You can't kick it out. You kick somebody's butt if they took it from you. I know you got to have one or two, maybe. So my earliest introduction of metal, I was on a school bus in grade school, and a friend of mine played Toxicity for me from System of a Down. Yeah.
Now, naturally, I'm biased. I am Armenian. Those are my boys. But that record for me is everything. Everything. And I guess I suppose it's because it transformed, it transports me back to when I realized why I loved this music. Right. But yeah, Toxicity, that record, that track is all day, every day. I can't get tired of it. That's a great album. That's a really man, it is. It's beautiful. It's like a buffet of music. Oh yeah. Has Ascendia met your expectations at this time as we're talking? Has it met your expectations, or are we still maybe waiting for that big cusp maybe to just blow open? Man, I think the key is not to have expectations.
Okay.
Right. I mean, in anything you do in life, I feel that you can get trapped. Now, we're hard on ourselves as musicians, as people, as human beings, and you think you have expectations, but I myself do my best to go with the flow. There are things in this world that you can't control, right? It's the COVID, you know, I can't unequivocally say if the pandemic wasn't around that we would be more successful or that we would be doing more. I can't. So has it met my expectations? 100% yes, because I don't have any. And I think that's important. I think that's very important. We get caught in it. We have to sometimes take a step back, all three of us, calm down, and realize this is a long game. This is a very long game. And and I have always said, and I have to remind myself, is as long as we're taking steps forward, and as long as we have the ability to celebrate small victories, which I think are so important for independent bands, you're going to be fine, right? When you have expectations and you're here, you're gonna crash and burn. I feel you know. So yes, it's met my expectations, which are none. I don't have expectations.
All right, folks, you want to get out and pick up Ascendia's sophomore album, Parasite. You want to pick that up. Also, check out their single, Parasite, and the very first single off this album entitled This War. Get out and check that out. So, Nick, my friend, how can folks stay in touch with you guys? Buy this new album, tour dates, merch, all that good stuff. How can they do that, sir?
Yeah, so all over social media, at Ascendia Music, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Spotify, all the streaming services. You'll find our 2 latest singles there, and more to come. More to come.
All right, man. And before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Absolutely. Hey, it's Nick from Ascendia, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour. Please go check out our Facebook page. It has that podcast link and our YouTube link. And like I said earlier, subscribe to that dang YouTube link because we need the subscriptions, and you need to keep up with all this stuff that we're doing. And please subscribe to Ascendia stuff. Pick up their sophomore album, like I said earlier, Parasite, and check out their singles, Parasite, of course, and This War. Give this band a fair shot. You won't be disappointed. So, Nick, my friend, I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate your time, and all the best to you.
Thank you, good sir.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.